Hi everyone. This is the day 6 of learning data science, and I am Avinash, a practitioner data scientist. And yes, today we're gonna discuss about the Python fundamentals. What we left yesterday, we will continue forward today. And if you guys haven't watched my previous videos, so what you can do, you can just go through my channel. You just click a scientist blade, and certainly you will get the videos of mine. Okay, so now let's forward regarding pertaining to that. And first, like as we start every day reading the mind maps, so I hope you guys know about the mind maps as well, and you are aware what is a mind map and why do we follow mind map, right? And how you can open the mind map certainly. So nothing you have to do, you have to just type Python mind map here, and you can open the particular website related to it, right? So, and how to update it, you have to just double click on any one of the branch and you can see various branches regarding Python programming is being appeared here, right? On the very first day, we discussed about the introduction. On the second day, we discussed about the variables in Python. On the third day, we discussed about the operators. On the fourth day, we discussed about the several data types, which is in Python. On the fifth day, we discussed about uh, uh, strings. And now what we will do, we will move forward pertaining to that strings, right? So what we have discussed till now, we have done with the introduction of strings. And I have told you guys like string is a sequential character. I means like once we have declared a string, it is in a sequence, we can't change it. Okay, and also we can't modify string because it is a immutable. And I've also told that how we can define the string. Anything which contain under quotes is considered as a string. And the next thing we discussed yesterday was the indexing. Like for example, if you want to access any values pertaining to that string, so what you can do, you can locate that particular character, that particular uh, element which is in the string by their index number, and the index number always starts from 0. Okay, so for example, this is a variable s1 and it contains a string hello, right? So if I want to find h where it is and I want to print it, right? So what I will do, h is on the very first position, right? So I will simply type s and in the square bracket is important, and in that we will write 0. Okay, so these all things we discussed yesterday. And also we discussed about the slicing of the strings. If you want to transverse the string from right to left, then we have to follow the positive indexing. We have and if you sorry my bad, if we are transversing the string from left to right, then we are considering the positive indexing. When we are considering the string in decreasing order from right to left, then we are using negative indexing. Again, in negative indexing, the last character is being denoted by -1. Okay, so these are all the things we have already discussed: start, stop, and step. And we have discussed all things as well. Now, what we will do, we will move on to pertaining different functions related to string. So, see, you can see how I'm opening this mind map. I'm just double clicking it, and when I am double clicking it, you can see various branches have been exploded here, right? So, you can do the same thing. If I will double click it on it, you can see everything just got disappeared, right? So you have to just operate it like this. And some useful built-in function pertaining to string is that is length for function. Whenever you have to find the length of the string, then we have to use len, and within that len function we have to uh, put that particular variable in which that particular string is present, right? And also if you want to count the occurrence, for example, this was a string hello, and if you want to count how many times L had been in this string. So what we can do, we can simply use the count function here. And the count function, whenever we are using any function will pertaining to string or pertaining to any data types, we have to first write that string dot then function, right? For example, here you can see a message is a certain variable which contains a string, right? And how we are counting the occurrence a here is, right, this message is a string dot count function, right? Or similarly, if we want to uh, perform some other functions such as center, so what we have to do, we have to just type the string name and dot and the function name, and within that function name whatever operations we have to perform, right? So what it will do, message dot center, what actually center function does, center function actually put your string in a center, and this is a 20 means the length of the string will be 20 and your string will be in the middle. For example, if your string is here and if I'm writing 20, so what will happen, 10 count will be here, 10 count will be here, and in the middle your string will be there. So that particular thing center functions do this, right? So now let's, so for that, I have told you guys to install Anaconda Navigator, and within Anaconda Navigator, I have told you guys to install Spider. Uh, and why I've told you guys to learn Spider is the only one thing that it is very user friendly, and obviously there are perfect IDEs for Python such as VS Code, PyCharm. But again, someone who is a beginner, it will be quite difficult for them to understand a lot of things, and Python contains a lot of things, right? So for that reason Spider is here, because you can see uh, here, if I will go in the variable explorer here, so you can see the variable, sorry, my bad, it had been run. Okay. Whenever you go to the variable, if I will just run this particular line of statement, a is not defined. Okay. See, you can see here what type of variable A is. It is int and size is 1 because one value is there, right? And the value is 10 and the another value is 20, right? So like this, you can go in the variable explorer, you can see various variables, what type of that particular variable is, and you want to go through certain functions, you don't know about certain things. So what you can do, you can just control plus I, select that function, control plus I, and you can see whatever this len function does, what this len function actually do, what perform, what certain tasks this lens function do. So what you can do, just keep it in mind, control plus I. I'm repeating, control plus I. Just select this function or any function if you want to do it. For example, format. Okay, right? And if I will do control plus I. So see, here in the format, you can see it's create a new string object from a given, they need to. So basically, if you want to go through the documentation of any particular thing in Python, Spider allows you with that, but no other ID makes such things, whether it's VS Code or PyCharm. So if you are a beginner and if you want to learn the basics, because basic is the most important thing, so I suggest you guys to just switch it to switch it to Spider, right? And so yesterday we discussed about the slicing of strings. Now what we will do, we will use the string formatting, right? And again, here in string formatting, there are certain rules related to that. For example, we have uh, describe here a function format here, right? And in the format, what I did, I put percentage dot 3f, percentage s is dollar sign, and percentage d. So basically what this percentage 3f does, percentage 3f actually looks for three decimal values. Right now you can see Here the decimal values is 4, right? And if I will execute this particular line of code, then you can easily see it. What the answer I will get is 6456. I will not get a 0. Why? Because I'm using dot 3 percentage f, right? So you can see 6546. Similarly, if I will do here 2, so what will happen? Let's execute it. Now execute this line of code, then you can see 6.46, right? So I hope you guys have understood what is the meaning of dot percentage dot f, right? If I will just simply write percentage dot f, right? So let's see what result it gives. Certainly it will give only one decimal value, that is uh sorry, percentage f removes means like basically all those. And if you want only one decimal value, so you have to mention here one f, right? So I hope you guys have been cleared about the percentage dot f meaning, what that is means, and how does it helps to modify a string, right? And what is this percentage of? Percentage s means uh, it means the string. Again, you want to see the documentation of it, so just select it, put a control I. No, it's not happening. I don't know. There is a glitch. Okay. So what percentage s does? Percentage s fetches all the string within this, right? See. So what does percentage s does? Percentage s fetches all the string within it, right? And what this percentage d does? Percentage d fetches all the digits inside that string, right? And if I will execute this code, you will, and I will execute it again, then you can see it that this was the particular data of ours. And here what we did here, percentage 1f just found out only one decimal place after the point, that is uh 6.5. Okay, wait. Okay, so basically what he does, he's just rounding off the values, right? Because rounding off means what the value next to 5 is 6, right? So 6 means anything which is above 3 in any programming language, it considers the floors value. Floors. Okay, so my bad, actually, there was some connectivity issue from my side. So now let's just re-begin what we were discussing. Okay, so I was discussing about the floor value, right? So floor value means uh 6 basically. What's the above 6? 6, obviously it's 7, right? And this is 5, then certainly it will become uh what do you say, it's 5, right? Whenever we are taking the floor value, and how we are considering the floor value, anything which is greater than 3. In mathematics, what we learn anything which is greater than 5, then we considers the floor value. We just round off the things. But in any programming language, whether it's Python, Java, C, C++, anything, the floor value, what the language converts is from 3. Anything above the 3, it's considered as a floor value, right? So if I will just write it 2 here, and if I will write 1, and if I execute this line of code, Then again, if I will execute this line of code, then you can see uh, it's rounding of the things. Why it's rounding of the things? Because after 6.2, there is a 5, right? So it is converting 2 to 3, right? And if you are just assume we do 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Now you can see the value is 2. Why? Because it haven't been round off, right? And if you put a 8 here and if you put a 9 here as well, let's try again. So you can see 6.2, 6.2. Why it's already there? Because it is 2 here, right? And when we are putting it 3, then you can see the value will be 2 because 1, 2, 3, it will consider the base value. And whenever it's greater than 3, then it will consider the seal value. Sorry, my bad. I was talking about the floor. Whenever it's less than 3, then it's floor value. Whenever it's greater than 3, then it's the ceiling value. Uh, I hope you guys, I think there is a bit difficult to understand. So I will make you guys much simpler. So what do you mean by floor? Floor means lower part, the floor of your house. And what do you mean by seal? Seal means ceiling. So ceiling is always on top and floor is always on bottom, right? So anything below 3 is considered as floor. Anything above 3 is considered as seal, right? So I hope you guys have understood these things. And again, what this percentage d is doing, percentage d is fetching the numerical values. Numerical, you can see it's 1 here. And again, Python Prasad here is taking all the integer string here because percentage as its job is this to do it, right? And for example, if I want to print my string, right? For example, if you're printing certain statement, right? And suppose you are calling a function and within that function there is two values. And for example, you are calculating weight of certain person, right? And that weight happens to be 20.5 and you have to just display it in an organized manner. Why we use string formatting? String formatting is just for our convenience, for user convenience, so that he can get the output in a relevant manner, because we as a programmer we will understand what type of output is this, but the user who is using it, he might not be able to understand those, right? So for that reason we are using string formatting. And here you can see what I've done. My name is percentage s and weight is percentage d takes all the digits here, and percentage s takes all the string value here. And when I will run this code, you can see 20 kgs, right? It will not take the point value. Why? Because it will take only the digit. If you want to take the point, then you have to use percentage epsilon. I hope you guys have been cleared. So now let's on move to the next example. Next example is, for example, if I want to ask, just input your name and let me input my name. My name is Avinash. So I will just input my name. And for example, tells me to enter my weight as well. Oh, it's not. Uh, okay. I have to just restart my console. It's just okay. So yeah. So my kernel is restarting, and when it's restart, let's just execute it. So if I will enter my name, Avinash, and put a enter, it will tell me to enter my weight. My weight is 73 kg. So if I will put it 73, and then again, wait, it's enter my weight. Okay, I think there is some glitch inside my kernel. It telling Basically, I've executed the kernel previously 3 times and my kernel's just restarted. So there is a glitch inside my console. So for that reason, don't get confused why this line of code is executing 3 times. No, it's just a glitch inside my computer. Okay. So yeah. And now, as I've explained you guys here, what we did, we were passing the values here, right? And we were just doing the hit and trial thing. We were not taking the user from input, right? And if you want to take a user from input, then what we do, we just write in the similar way. My name is percentage s. What this percentage s does, percentage s takes the all the string values in your string, and what the weight does, if percentage d, it takes the digits here, right? And if I will execute it, then you will see my name is Avinash and my weight is 73. So you will get like this. Okay, so basically string formatting, what it does, it can be done in several ways. There is no particular condition related to that. Okay, you have to just stick on this particular format for your formatting of string. It's just upon up to you what type of and what type of code and what type of data that particular client requires. Upon that understanding, you can use the string formatting, right? So you can see it is the first process, means it was the what you can say, the first part. It's like uh, पहली बार थे. पहली बार means there are various steps. It's not particular steps. There are अ, जैसे 5-10 तरीके होते हैं, ठीक है? तो इट वाज जस्ट द फर्स्ट वे टू डू इट. देयर आर डिफरेंट वेज, राइट? सो दिस वाज particularly the first way to do it. And what is the second way? Second way is this is my string and we will use dot format. Okay, and dot format here inserted means we will just insert our name and weight. So now let's just execute this line of code, and when I will execute it, you can see my name is Avinash and my weight is 73. Okay, so this is, and if I will execute this line of code, and you can say my name is 73 and my weight is Avinash. Why it's showing like this? Because here always whenever we are using any format function here, so the very first variable which it takes, it is considered as the zero value, zero index, right? And it's a one. How it happens? It happens to be like this. The very first value takes as 0, and after that it's 1, then it's 2, then it's 3, then it's 4, then it's 5. Like this it takes it, right? And so the similar way, if I'm executing these things, it is showing like this. My name is 73 and my weight is Avinash, right? Because on the first position it's weight and on the zero position is name. And if I will execute like this, I will put a 0 here, and if I will put a 1 here, then similarly you can see it that it's showing the correct output now. My name is Avinash and my weight is 73. So you can arrange the string formatting like this. Similarly, you can use the hash string here, means like a certain variable r, and in r you are defining the weight. And if I will execute this line of code, and the will be the output is 73. Why? Because in the code you have written the output and it's 73. Similarly, there is another way to do string formatting is performing the uh, f string. So f string is the quite easy way to do it. And what I do, I just prefer f string to do it. In f string, you have to just do nothing. You have to just execute the print statement. And like for example, I'm using a is equal to 10, 10, and in the second, okay, sorry. And in the B, I'm executing 20. And if I will execute this line of code, it's here. And if I will do the f string means you have to just put a f here, and within the quotes you have to write it like this. For example, a is greater than b, you have to write this. So what you can do, in the curly braces write a is greater than B. And if I will execute it, you will see that it will give the output at 10 is greater than 20, right? Obviously 10 is not greater than 20, but you are writing in like this way. So basically string formatting is the way you want to write it. Yep. So now we will move on to the next part, which is triple quotes. Why we are using the triple quotes? Triple quotes, as I've told you guys, for maintaining the multiple lines of codes. Like for example, my name is Pushpa and my age is 25. I stay in the forest of red sandalwood. Pushpa, Pushparaj, I don't bow to anyone, right? So if you want to execute this line of code, then here obviously we can store multiple. Okay, sorry. You can execute multiple lines of code here. You can see in the statement variable, this particular string is being already stored, right? And now on the starting of the video, what we talked about uh, the center for function, basically what center function does it, right? And I have told you it assigns your particular string in center, right? And for example, uh, we will execute this line of code, and after executing it, I am doing name dot center. So you can see it here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So similarly, if you want to count the length of that, so for example, length of center 30, you can see the length will be 30, but the string will be in the middle of it, right? And similarly, the spaces will be there, and you can add it anything pertaining to that. If you want to add space, you want to add space. If you want to add the, for example, the asterisk sign here, so just let me execute this line of code. So you can see you can add anything according to your choice, whether you can add space. By default, it adds space. And if you want to add anything, any variable, any special symbol, for example, if I want to add dollar here, for example, I want to add hashtag as well. So if I will use this, you can see hashtag, hashtag, hashtag Aditya. Aditya is in between and the hashtag here, like this, right? So I hope you guys have understood the center function, how does it happens. And whenever we are using any string function, we have to just write the string name here and center. Don't just confuse with the name with the string name. For example, if I'm changing this variable name with s, okay, and let me execute it. If I'm executing it, so and if I will try to execute this line of code, it will give me Aditya, because earlier we have in a name here, okay. So in the variable explorer, if you can see it, uh where was that? Here, s is equal to Aditya. And if you want to execute this line of code, I have to just write the string name here. And if I will write the string name, so you can see Aditya SSSS. So like this. And similarly, if you count the occurrence of substring in a given string, so what you can do, you can just write the count function, and it will give you the count of the substring within that particular string, right? For example, I wanna count I, how many times I is there, right? So if I will execute this line of code, and if I wanna add the count here, count, and again, any function which you are doing in a string, you have to just write the string name. The string name here is string. So similarly, I'm writing a string here, again, dot with the function name. And within that function, I'm adding this particular substring, right? because I want to count this particular substring, this particular I within that string. So you can see, if I will print this statement, so the count is 3. Why? Because you can clearly see I, and here in trainer I. So like this, the count function cuts in string. Okay. So so that's all for the today, guys, and I hope you have liked my video, and you haven't liked it, then just comment it on the comment section what particular thing about this particular video you didn't like it. I'm just open to the feedbacks. If you guys will give me the feedback, I will certainly implement it, and I will try to make sure that from the next video I won't repeat it. But for that, I need the support of you guys. So what we will do tomorrow, we will discuss all the function related to string, and then we will move on to the lists, right? So now what you have to do, you have to perform the various codes pertaining to this. And again, you have to practice every day at least 100 lines of code, or it depends on you, but minimum is 100. You can practice 500 to 1000, because again, coding is like a swimming. If you don't swim or practice a single day, you will get drowned, and everything will be like uh, Mount Everest for you, that it will be a tough, and you will seem that you can't climb it, right? So basically, this was the thing pertaining to string. And yeah, tomorrow we will discuss again. So today, what we discussed, discussed about the string formatting. We discussed about the certain functions related to string, how we can find the length. We discussed about the center function. We discussed about the count function. If you want to count the any characters, any substring, then we can use the count variables. So and basically there are various function pertaining to strings. You can see that is alnum is there, alpha is there, is digit is there, capital is there, upper is there, lower there. So basically there are various functions. Join is there, replace is there, split is there. Basically this type of functions is there, and we will discuss these things tomorrow later on this video. So I hope you guys will join tomorrow at time. So till then, what you can do, you can just practice the codes and have a good and sound sleep, because that will help you guys to practice more and gain your skills much better and land your job successfully. So till then, bye bye, good night, and